Hi guys, this is Ms. Vastelka, and I'm going to talk to you about the kinds of multiple choice questions that you're going to see on your quiz on Thursday if you're in third period and Friday if you're in fourth or sixth. First, take a look at the document that was on the Google Classroom and the quote that's stated on that document. So Robert Walton, in the fourth letter to his sister, recounts a discussion of his enterprise. His enterprise, of course, is his journey to the North Pole. So he recounts to his sister the discussion of his journey with Victor Frankenstein. After this, he describes how Victor Frankenstein responds to his discussion of his journey, his enterprise. This is what I want you to do. I want you to read this quote, pause this video, look up any words that you're not sure of, and summarize. And then we'll check back in and look at the multiple choice question based on this quote. Okay guys, hopefully you paused and you looked up some of the words that I have highlighted here. I'll just run through a definition for you and then we'll talk about a paraphrase for this sentence. So the word evinced was one of your vocab words. It was from Unit 3. It basically means to show or to provoke. Utterance is speech, saying something. All right, like to utter is to talk. An utterance is something someone has said. Ardor and fervor are basically synonyms that both mean passion, excitement about something. A furtherance here is to continue or to further his enterprise, which we already said. His enterprise is the journey that he's undertaking. Now let's talk for a second about who is talking here. You have I, who is Robert Walton, and you have he, who is Victor Frankenstein. As you've probably already gleaned from this sentence, in this sentence, Robert Walton is basically saying that Victor Frankenstein made me feel so comfortable. He had such sympathy for me that he brought out the language of my heart, my true feelings. In fact, he allowed me to share the passions, the ardor and the fervor of my soul. And the passions of Robert Walton's soul consist really of excitement over his enterprise, furthering his enterprise. In fact, he said he's so excited about his journey that he says he would sacrifice his fortune, his existence, his every hope, just to pursue his dream. So Robert Walton is completely honest with Victor Frankenstein and says that he would give up everything in order to pursue his journey through the North Pole. So your sample multiple choice question, which is a lot like the kind of question you'll see on the quiz, asks what Victor Frankenstein's reaction is to Robert Walton's statement. And then it provides you with 4 portions of the text to illustrate that. So the first portion of the text, this is Robert Walton talking about Victor Frankenstein, saying, "He is so gentle yet so wise, his mind so cultivated." B is also Robert Walton talking about Victor Frankenstein, saying he is not so utterly occupied by his own misery, but that he interests himself deeply in the projects of others. For both of these reasons, it's probably why Robert Walton feels so comfortable talking to Victor Frankenstein, because he calls Frankenstein gentle, wise. He says he's interested in the projects of others. Answer choice C. My voice, that's Walton's voice, my voice quivered and failed me as I beheld tears trickle fast from between his fingers. And then the paroxysm of grief that had seized the stranger overcame his weakened powers. So here, the my, that's Robert Walton talking about his own voice. And then the stranger here is Victor Frankenstein. So this is the kind of question you're going to see in your quiz. Let's talk about which is the right answer and why. If you picked D, you were correct. That's the right answer. Let's talk about why. Basically, answer choice A is about Victor, but if you look at page 13 of your books, it comes before Walton's comment. So there's no way that it could reveal Victor's reaction to Walton because it takes place before Walton even said anything. B also describes Victor's misery, but it's still before Walton's comment, so there's no way it could describe Victor's reaction to Walton's comment. C comes very close, and I think would trick a lot of people. But C is focusing more on Walton than it is focusing on Victor. It's a close answer, but because most of answer choice C is focusing on Walton's reaction to Victor, it's not as good as D, which clearly describes Victor's reaction to Walton. So on your quiz, you're going to see questions like these, which ask you to take the text, interpret it, and use it to better understand characters, characters' attitudes, characters' feelings, and all that good stuff. Thanks so much for listening.